What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I've done a video, so I figured I'd charge up the camera and get out here on a nice afternoon and talk about a few maintenance things on the tractors, on these specifically these utility type tractors. As most of you know, there's quite a few maintenance items on these tractors, these utility type tractors, that you need to keep an eye on. Regularly. Change, check levels, pressures, all different kinds of things, per your owner's manual. But it's quite a bit of stuff with, all the hydraulics and everything like that. So I thought we'd just kind of go over and talk about these things just in general, just how many items, not to recommend when you need to do yours. You follow your owner's manual for your specific type tractor, but most all these utility type tractors with loaders and everything are going to be very similar as to what's on them. Figured I'd set up here by the old soybean field today to getting ready to harvest those, because you can see there's a nice crop there of soybeans. They're in the process of picking those here in the next day or two. But anyway, let me I got a cheat sheet. So many items I couldn't remember everything, so and feel free, I'm sure there's a thing or two I've left out, so feel free to add a comment or whatever, something that I might have missed. But there again, this is just talking about in general all the different things on these tractors that need attention, you need to check on every now and then, stuff like that. So of course, starting right up front here, the air filter. You need to keep that clean and changed per your owner's manual schedule. To me, a lot of that too depends on what environment am I using the tractor as to how often you need to, pay attention to that thing. Obviously, if you're brush hogging, doing something that, you're in a lot of dust environment, it's super dry outside, creating a lot of dust, then obviously that filter is going to be need more attention to be blowed out or cleaned out or changed, more on a regular basis. But fuel filter, there again, change it per the manual. There again, you want to make sure that you're, in my opinion, putting fuel additives in your diesel fuel. Research those and find the additive that works best for you or that's got a good rating. But you want to change that fuel filter on a regular basis per the manufacturer or the owner's manual. Hydraulic filters, of course. This tractor is basically a hydraulic machine when it boils right down to it. That's the driving force of these utility tractors nowadays. So you got typically most of them have two filters. You got your transmission hydraulic filter, and then your hydraulics for the rest, for the loader, the steering, on these things are now hydraulics. So you want to make sure you keep those changed on a regular basis, and change your fluids per the manual recommendation. So the hydraulics is definitely a key thing here. You've got your engine oil, of course. You want to change that and your filter per the recommendations. You want to keep a check on your coolant and your hoses. On these Coyotes anyway, I know there's been a few people that have said, during that first 50 hours or first year or so, they might notice a little leak. I actually had that on this tractor, a little bit of a leak, one of the hoses up front. So you want to, pop that hood every now and then, just keep an eye on it, and, tighten up hoses if you see anything. It doesn't hurt to do that. Keep your coolant level, and also cleaning that radiator. We talked about the air filter, but you want to keep your blower nearby, maybe your battery operated blower. I got one I keep on the tractor here, but you want to keep that radiator, because that seems to be another thing, especially with this particular model. If you get any amount of debris on that front screen, then you can have overheating. It seems like with my other tractor, the Massey Ferguson, I think you completely stop it up, it wouldn't overheat. But anyway, that's just something to keep an eye on. And of course, you want to always check that coolant. During those cold months, you want to get the old hydrometer and check the coolant level to see, make sure you got plenty of antifreeze mixture in there to make sure you're not going to have a freeze up problem. Belts, you got your fan belt, and then some of the tractors that may have a mower deck or whatever may have belts or things like that. But You want to make sure belts are tight and you're not squealing and rubbing and stuff like that. Grease fittings, there again, one of the most important things on these tractors with the loader and all the grease fittings. Like, on this, I got the grapple on here now. This grapple right here has six grease fittings on it. And then I knew I was wrong, it's 8. My bad, there's 8 on this grapple, 4 on each cylinder here. And then I think the loader on this tractor has 8 on each side, so 16. So there's 24 fittings right there, hence got to have that battery operated grease gun. But there again, I try to do the loader about every 10 hours, but it actually tells you to do the grapple after the instructions on it each use, so daily. But follow your manual. But yeah, the grease is definitely very important. Tire pressure, you want to check those tires. I read all the time about people unclenching tires and this and that, and I guarantee you a lot of it is where they've got the pressure. If tires leak down over time, it's got a little hole in it, or how when the weather turns cold, you always get that light that comes on in your car to add a little air. So just check those pressures. Do it when you grease your loader, about every 10 hours or so. So torque of the bolts. That's in my mind a very important topic. That seems to be on all these utility type tractors. For whatever reason, that seems to be an issue with bolts coming loose. So you want to make sure you check those. A lot of people do the little paint mark to make sure they aren't moving. I don't know if it's the quality of the bolts, the not right lock washers, but I can tell you, I grew up on the farm and drove tractors of all different sizes, from 30 horsepower up to 130 horsepower. And these were mostly back in the day. I was helping on the farm in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. And we never had a tractor that we had to check the torque on the bolts or put a paint mark because we were worried about them coming loose. Whether it was the wheel lugs, loader, something to do with the 3-point, we never, I don't ever remember having to tighten a bolt that came loose, like a factory bolt. I know you might have sheared off some kind of bolt or something, but I don't know. I don't understand why that's a problem on most all these tractors. As I mentioned in some previous videos, I had first 10 hours, some of these little loader retainer bolts were backing out. I had to take all of them out, put Loctite on them. And I haven't had a problem since, which is good, but I just don't follow it. I see stuff where people have wheel lugs falling out all the time, and I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. They should be able to come up with something that's not a problem, especially on a piece of machinery that you're constantly lifting heavy things and driving on hills and side hills up and down. The last thing you want is a wheel falling off, or a loader, something falling off on the loader and you drop whatever you're carrying. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but I see definitely some room for improvement there. But there again, keep a check on them, put paint marks on them, check them. Doesn't take but just a couple minutes to glance over them and check them. All right, let's see what else we got here. Cab models. I know I don't have the fortunes of having a cab, maybe one day, but I know there's an air filter there you want to keep a check on. That, and change it when it need be. Front axle gear oil, you want to keep a check on that. Check around those hubs, make sure you don't have any leaks going on there. I think a lot of them recommend you change that original oil, which I think is more like a hydraulic fluid, and put regular like 80-90 weight gear oil in there. Of course, you want to, last video I did was about your battery maintenance and maintainer. You want to make sure you keep a check on your battery, make sure everything's tight and good there. I like to use theirs at CRC. They have two different things, like one's a battery cleaner if you got corrosion, and then the other one's a preventer. You spray on there and it helps prevent corrosion, from coming about. But anyway, that's just like 13 different things right there, just right off the top of your head. There's a lot of things involved in in these tractors that you want to keep an eye on, that maybe save you a trip to the dealer or whatever if you just keep these things checked and that kind of stuff. If you can think of something that I missed, please feel free to put it in the comments. So anyway, I reckon that'll wrap it up. I appreciate everybody joining. Hope everybody's gearing up for fall and all kinds of. Most of the videos I've done lately have been more like this, just talking about things on the tractor. So I've got some fall cleanup work coming up, so maybe we'll get some more action videos going here soon. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good week ahead, and take care, and thanks for stopping by. See ya.